everyone, welcome to the Age of Listening channel. We're not going deep as we normally do into the symbols of the cards, going and looking from the Rider-Waite-Smith, but we are going to go into the third of the elements, which is fire. So we're looking at that masculine fire, energy, action, creativity, forging ahead, you know. So Aries, Leo and Sag are associated with the fire sign, and with the Rider-Waite-Smith it's portrayed as the wands. So we'll get straight to it. Right, so when we look at the fire sign, we're looking at, whenever we see the wands, we're looking at the divine spark of God within us. So that creative fire, that fire energy. We'll be seeing salamanders a lot in here, but we're talking about, you know, lighting that fire under someone's feet. And we start off with the Ace of Wands, and I thought I'd do it slightly differently, you know, talk about make things difficult for myself. But I thought I'd show all of them so you can kind of, if this doesn't click, because we're not looking at the symbols today, we're looking at the energy. So hopefully one of these will kind of help you to get what fire means. So divine fire, this is big passions, intuitions that go into big passions, spontaneity, inspiration. So think about the Aries entrepreneur, think about the proud Leo walking into the room ready to be seen, you know. Think of the Sagittarius. So this is something that can be given to us, you know, especially I'm a Taurus, so I know that with me, when I'm given the gift of fire, we kind of move quite slowly, Tauruses, and so having that energy put underneath us can give us that spurt. Okay, fire also purifies. You want something, you know, get rid of some bacteria or whatever. Gosh, I'm so fed up of hearing about bacteria and viruses, but you know, we purify things by fire, don't we? So fire is often used in a lot of sort of religious and spiritual understandings, doctrines, and kind of religious ceremonies. That's the word I'm looking for. So here we have the fire element with the Ace of Wands, and as we go sort of fairly quickly through here, I don't really want you to take a notice of the symbols. I'm not going to be going through them. I'm going to be looking at the feel of it, so that by the time you come away from this particular video, you're going to get an understanding that whenever you see a wand, you're going to know, okay, that's got to do with fire, that's got to do with energy. Okay, so we can see on the Ace of Wands here, this is a gift that's given to you from on high, and the leaves are falling, the yods here, and they're falling off. There's so much grace has been given to you, and real zeal to start something, enthusiasm, you know, for a new project, or a zest for grasping something with both hands. Here she's got it in her either crown or third eye, but she's been given inspiration to birth something new. In here you've got the dawning of a new day, you know, it's something's been given for you to start something afresh, the dawning of a new day and a new adventure. And with this one here, I don't know, she's getting inspiration from the fire, and probably it's to create something, you know. There's here there's paintbrushes and a map, and probably a book to write something in. Okay, Now we're moving to the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands here, you've got, there's some, you know, some people sort of, this is one of those cards where people have different meanings. But here you've got a retired gentleman. He's stuck between two energies. One is to go forward and have a new adventure. But the other, you know, because he's got his hand on here, so he wants to go for a new adventure, but something is holding him back. And you can see that this wand is kind of stuck to the wall with nuts and bolts, so a bracket. So, you know, he wants to move forward, but something's holding him back. Over here, there's still passion within him, purpose for adventure. But there's some repressed energy here, and oh, I can't wait to go through this card separately with you. And here you've got the little salamander. So here she's wistfully looking out of the window. She's holding one of the wands, but the other one is left aside. So she's really quite whimsical here. And sometimes, you know, there isn't that strive to go towards that next goal. So yeah, so untapped potential here, really. Probably they're waiting for a time to kind of pick their moment, but here they're sat at the bleachers. They're wanting to go forward, but they can't. And here she's looking out. She looks like she's got, is that a crystal ball? Or it's the earth. Okay, so she's holding the earth, but she's biding her time, or he, biding the time, looking out to the horizon, waiting for the time, but really wanting to go ahead. So here now we've got the Third of Wands, and this is a different kettle of fish all around. You know, before something's holding him back. This guy, again, some people argue with this, but you've got so much yellow in this card, and 3 is a card of full expression of the element. So with number 3, knowing that we've got an awful lot of yellow here, we can see that there's creativity, intellect, positivity, good energy and clarity, and he's just looking out and he can't wait. So it's almost the younger him of what the retired man was like, and there's adventures to be had. And so really, you know, that full expression of that wand energy, going out for that adventure, no one's holding them back. Now this is another card which, you know, people talk about marriage and lots of other things like that. But I'm going to be a bit controversial here because, again, there's lots and lots of yellow, but we have a backdrop. So this is about community, really. Here we have party and frivolity, joy and celebration, yep. So lots of free-flowing spirit of harmony when everyone's in agreement. So with 4, it means structure, archetypal experience. This is the party in the street, yeah, celebrating D-Day or something. Everyone's of like-mindedness. So you have the 4 of Wands here stating that the structure, but it's a backdrop. And what do we see? We see that frivolity and joy, you know, the street coming together, winning the national lottery, or winning the, what's it called, the postcode lottery. So in here you've got, this is very similar to like the 3 of Cups, but here you've got the 4 witches all joining together, making beautiful I don't know, spells, and they're all in different colours, but there's no arguments here. Everyone's in one agreement, and it's beautifully displayed here with the, oh, what's it called, the Witches Tarot deck. I always forget, I've got a brain fog of that, but they're underneath it, so it's quite, you know, it's really got it all going on there. And the same here with the light seers. So it's a party time. So you're getting that energy, you're getting that, you know, it's, I'm almost feeling exhausted, and I'm going to be exhausted by the time I finish watching this. So here you've got the Five of Wands, and here there's a little bit of friction. So it's often sort of portrayed as the young boys getting together. Five means loss or conflict. And that's aptly put in these cards, because although the four of them are often looked on as having, you know, just having a great sort of rough play, but you've got a few of them who are actually taking it a bit too seriously. One here looks like he's being very serious about it, and a bit of competition is in the air. And so you can see that here all the witches have come in together, and it's quite funny how you've got the males are quite used to rough and tumble games, don't take anything personally, but here you've got the five female witches, and they're kind of squabbling. They're just squabbling and kind of fighting, as we do with our tongues. We are very good at that. So you've got the battle of the scene here with the Witch's Tarot, with all the dragons and everything. So it can be viewed as like that conflict, that energy. Tauruses, I'm always harking back to me, but I'm giving it so you've got some sort of frame to work in. I don't like conflict, I don't like confrontation very much, and I like everything peace around me. So to me, I don't do competition. I haven't a competitive bone in my body. But over here you've got the same sort of thing. They're all reaching and climbing up to get the fire, to get the energy. Who's the biggest winner? So hopefully that explains that sort of energy. I'm sorry guys that I haven't kind of been around for very much this past month, but I've been kind of really busy with my kids with the lockdown. One's at school now and the other one is I'm homeschooling, and it's far easier to entertain or keep occupied, you know, two kids than it does for one. So they're away today and tomorrow, so I'm going to be posting loads hopefully. So here we have now the Six of Wands. Now with this particular card, again, there is a bit of diversity and understanding what this card means. So for me, the Six of Cards is not about heralding in the warrior home from war, and it's often portrayed as that, and I wish it wasn't, but anyway, Waite described this energy that you feel when you're about to go out into battle. So Waite was talking about, you know, it's not returning, but it's leaving. And this person here, the ruler, and I love it in my other deck, and I've gone and left it. I'm so annoyed with myself. But it's about rousing the crowd up, rousing the soldiers up, you know, cry freedom. You know, it's all about that kind of, we can do this. We'll go out into battle and we will be victorious. It's getting that energy going into the population or into the soldiers. So it's kind of like over here you've got Six of Wands here, where he looks a bit forlorn, like he's come back out of battle, and he's looking tired, but you know, he's leading everyone home again. And with the Six of Wands here, she's got six little wands, and basically she's handing things out, flowers out to people. She's sharing her victory. I'm going to get the other card actually and show you why it's so different. Okay, back again. So I've got here the Ciro Marchetti, and have I said that right? Yeah, Marchetti, Ciro Marchetti. So I find that with the Ciro Marchetti, they all of his decks seem to kind of blend with the more traditional one. So here he is, and if you can see the ones that are down here, we have 5 wands down here, and they're not lit. And because of that, his job, you see, they're not lit, okay? So his job is really to rouse everybody up. His job is to make them see that what they're going to battle for is worth it. Yeah, so really rousing spirits. I really like that. So yeah, okay, so let's go to the next one. So here we have the 7 of Wands, and you know, battles can be invigorating. We saw before that the Emperor was being, you know, very giving it an invigorating speech, but here we have a young man. He's got the upper hand, and you know, they look like they're coming from all around him, and he looks a little bit like a superhero. He's fighting them off. There's a certain amount of enjoying it, you know, that hurrah moment, even if it does look like he's being backed into a corner. But, you know, here, if you have this person sort of coming towards you, I would say, matter into your perspective, you've got a bit of a fighter on your hands. So this kind of person will give as good as they get, whether it's in kind of business or conversation. Here we've got courage and power, that gladiator prowess. He can't stay in this for too long, because if he stays in that battle too long, you know, we all kind of get very tired, but at the end of the day, they're holding their own. So you've got that energy of holding their own, proud with authority, being under attack, and so yeah, but it's a good fight. Yeah. Now this one we know quite well, and again I'm going to bring out one of my favourites to really explain, because it took me a while to kind of understand, you know, what's the difference between this and the Ace of Wands, you know, the Ace of Fire. What's the difference? And really this is, to explain it better, I would say traditionally this is viewed as like the message, some sort of fire energy of money, prospects, a thought engaged, is kind of coming home to roost. So imagine that like energy is like a paper aeroplane flying through the air and hitting the target, you know, that huge surge of energy, that waking up with this idea and being inspired to go and do it. So, you know, it's hitting home. And the same with this one. Look at that energy coming through from the Marchetti card, and you've got these beautiful doves. They're being guided almost from above. It's almost like guided just for you. But with the other cards, you know, you've got that zooming feeling of fire energy. Lovely. Sparks, and you know, you've got wind, everything's moving, everything's about to move, so that's cool. So here we've got again, people, you know, you have to go with your gut on this, because there's lots of different ways that you can view this. The traditional one here, we can see it's a backdrop. So the backdrop is that there are lots of battles that have been won, but there's still one left, and he's not going to move. And I've grown to love this card. So he's not for moving. He's going to keep on fighting, basically till he dies of probably an autoimmune disease, because he's been in kind of this atmosphere of fight, not flight mode. And he's got to be careful that he has a break. But this card is saying, don't give up. Now is not the time. Keep on going. And he is battle worn. And you can see it from here. She's looking a bit battle worn. and she's used, it looks like she's had lots of wands here. If you look, I don't know if you can see, they're kind of, they've been used so much, whoops, they've been used so much that they're actually you know, they're still sort of almost on fire still. They've just gone out, and so she's got a bit of panic on her face, but she's sticking on in there. Where on here, you know, she's got a bit of attitude. She's kind of saying, you know, you're not getting past me, and I'm proudly sitting here, and it's lit, and yeah, and the same with this one here with the Witch's Tarot. The sun is behind her, God is behind her, she's not going to give up. So it's a stay alert card. The fight isn't over yet, so it's about, you know, protect your own, be defensive. Okay, so now we have this one's feeling of carrying a lot. You're carrying quite a heavy burden, and here's displayed kind of the energy of a man that doesn't know when to sit down. He's doing all the work himself. It doesn't say whether he has chosen to do this himself or others have put it on him, but you know, it's kind of presumed that no one is forcing him. This is someone who's got that fire energy, and without going into symbols, because there's loads of symbols in this, you know, someone always gets hurt, you know, when they are carrying such a heavy load by themselves. His head is down, he's just getting on with it. And so sometimes we can be a slave to our ambitions, and balance may be needed here. But you can see, you know, the tortured face. She's dragging up the hill all of her broomsticks, and, you know, she's struggling. Weirdly enough, you've also got here, this is a slightly different take on it. She's packing everything up, all her possessions are in, and she's going off. And I don't know how I feel about this, but she's taking her stuff and she's going. Let me look into that. Okay, so in the light seers, we've got taking on too much, an opportunity to free yourself from heavy burdens. So I guess we're focusing in here on the heavy burdens that sometimes you find yourself in when you're, you know, coming close to a successful outcome. So this is about, you know, message, keep going, all those responsibilities, but you know, release those burdens to the ethers continually. Just don't keep hold of them. Be positive and loving to yourself. Okay, next one. So here we have the Page of Wands, and the page here, you know, this isn't a mature energy. Pages are often seen as explorations and study, and I kind of, for me, I really don't want to go into the symbols because that isn't what this is about, but you know, so this is the undeveloped, immature fire element, the simplest state of the fire element. So a message in fire energy, beginnings of fire energy, new project that requires fire energy, a light thought, a spark, an idea, that's very simplistic, childlike energy. So it's an idea in its infancy. You know, and we can see that we've got really young spirits in this. You've got a cat kind of going, do you want to come along? Do you want to come? There's an adventure to be had. And he goes, I don't know, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not really sure. It's nothing substantial, but it is a spark. Have you had a spark of something? Is there the mingling ideas, the daydreams of possibly something that's in the back of your mind? So, yeah. Here we have the Knight of Wands, going boldly in with few fear to tread. You can see here with the yellow, there's lots of yellows and sand actually, but we'll go through that when we do them individually. There's lots of kind of that parched, dry ground with all the energy, and you can see here with his lizards, they're not eating their tails. And so when we get to the king on his robes has these lizards, but they're eating their own tail, like the Ouroboros. So it's kind of it's come full cycle, but here he's still quite young and still quite immature. So we have a little more maturity than the page, so we're a bit further down where actions are beginning to come into these ideas. The element is a bit more focused, a bit more determined, and oh yeah, sorry, I've just seen in my notes it's a salamander lizard, my foot. Okay, so eager but not quite balanced just yet. You know, here he is going over, he thinks he can do everything. And when we have a, you know, when we're doing a new project, and when you're very young and optimistic, you know, you feel like you can take on the world. So you're at that stage where it really is about, okay, I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go and do it. And you've got that appointment to go and see the bank manager or a friend and say, do you want to join with me in this new adventure? So cool. We have here 2 more cards left to go. We've got through it. So here the Queen of Wands, she's got her legs wide open. How dare she? So this is the sort of the essence of wand energy. You know, she's ready and sitting to be impregnated or to birth. She's using this fire energy. She's fearless, and she's aware of all that energy that's within her, and she can produce this at will. So, you know, this is the power behind the throne.